All right. Yeah. Now this happened a couple of days ago, but we should mention the great Vin Scully. He really was the greatest, right, Shaq? I mean, what you could say Al Michaels is great, but I feel like if they were asked to switch roles, I'm not sure if Al could pull off what Vin did. Like incredibly, just doing it all alone by himself, calling games in such a smooth manner that gets people on board. I don't know a lot of people. The story I'm hearing a lot is people would go to Dodger games and bring their transistor radio and listen to Vin, or they would watch the game on TV. And if it wasn't him calling the game on TV, they'd put the radio on and listen to Vin. You just don't get that anywhere else. People going out of their way. And I think we've lost the best to ever do it.
I think you're probably right that he's the best ever, but people get provincial about it because the radio play-by-play guy of baseball, more than any other sport, there is what I saw a lot of on social media was that he was the conveyor of what was happening. And, remember, I know that this points to how old we are, but there was a time in our lives, Sal, like old men, like my old man, like, we didn't have TVs in my day. We had to listen on the radio. To some degree, that was true even for us. It's not like every baseball game when we were growing up was on. You listened on the radio. And so you forge a connection with those guys on a level that you didn't. I do think ultimately I'm a little resentful of LA Dodgers fans who are saying he was our guy, and he certainly was, as much as anybody is associated with the Dodgers brand. Vin Scully is it, but he also had a national. I connected with him because him and Joe Garagiola calling the game of the week, and everybody is aware at this point. I think he called the catch for Dwight Clark. He was there for that one. He was there for Kirk Gibson's home run. This side of we can debate that's on the short list of greatest home runs in postseason.
Well, let's do it.
History.
Let's do it now. Martin, what was the greatest Vin Scully call that you're aware of?
My greatest Vin Scully call, I tweeted it out after he died, after the Dodgers tweeted the notification, but I was watching live. It's still the wildest thing I've ever heard in a live sports broadcast. Torrey Hunter was at bat, and Vin Scully started telling his story. And Torrey Hunter was with the Tigers, and I was covering the Tigers at the time. He started telling a story about how Torrey brought his dad's jacket to school. And he said, I'm quoting him now, he said, and something fell out of his jacket. What do you call it? A crack pipe? And hearing Vin Scully say crack pipe on a baseball broadcast was entirely incredible.
Well, anyway, you get the point. And then he tried to, and then Torrey Hunter strikes out look it up on YouTube. It's a fantastic clip. But yes, it was Torrey Hunter's jacket that his father, who was a crack addict, had taken, and Torrey was upset because he didn't think he'd see it again. And then he saw it one morning as his father was passed out on the couch, and he took it to school. And like you said, the crack pipe fell out in right in the middle of class.
And so Vin Scully just decided top of the second inning was the time to tell that story.
Yeah, I got a Torrey Hunter. Oh, here he is. He's at bat and he strikes out looking.
Your Mad Dog impression is second to none, Sal. You tried a little Vin there. Vin's hard to do. Vin's inflection was so pastoral compared to most anyone else's, even among the baseball guys. I'm gonna guess. I mean, the Gibson home run, and look who's coming to the plate is great. And people talk about the ninth inning of Sandy Koufax's perfect game as this perfect piece of broadcasting. And it is. You can find it online and go listen to that. But as a Metropolitans guy, I'm embarrassed. Well, you can do it now. I want to hear you do it. I'm embarrassed that I can't get the exact sequence of words right. Behind the bag. The ball gets through.
Yeah, what's he down to first, behind the bag. And, it's that's my number one. That's my favorite. But I will say this, and you brought it up, he has made the greatest call in my life that I would get excited about, and probably also the most demoralizing call, as you mentioned, Dwight Clark's catch against the Cowboys. So I'm on both ends of the spectrum of Vin Scully right there, which ended up being the last.
Aaron. He just so happens as the Dodgers guy to be at Hank Aaron's home run, and his call on that is just splendid. And it would be easy to get hyperbolic about the significance of a black man in the South breaking Babe Ruth. He essentially says that, and it feels like out of my voice, don't exaggerate to make some broader point about the significance of sports. But when Vin Scully says it, it's great. The other thing that he always did, when significant moments happen. I love that he would always give the time and or the date.
Right, right.
At 10 past 9 p.m. East
He was like Mark
time.
Gunnels of the 70s, I think. Yeah. No, it's a very, very, very inside joke. Very inside.
It is 10:42 in Los Angeles, California, and the Dodgers have won.
The city of angels, Sandy Koufax does what no one's ever done in the sport of baseball. It's awesome.
What I find fascinating, though, is like I didn't know until he died that people started bringing their radios to games because of Vin Scully. Like I didn't. Like, just growing up, we used to bring the radio to the game, but I thought it was because when you're at the game, you can't hear what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't. So you can't. I don't know who got hurt or what. You know what I'm saying? What or whether or not what's happening. That somebody's in the locker room or whatever. So that's why I used to bring the radio. But to hear apparently that Vin Scully was the reason why they started.
We did that too. I mean, did you, Marty? But it's interesting. I can't think of the legend from the Tigers, their radio guy, their longtime radio guy.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, it's escaping me. Give me 10 seconds and I'll have it.
This is sad
I guess that kind of proves my point.
This Hall of Fame.
It kind of proves my point. I wonder, does it matter that, I mean, it is like sort of old Manning cast
Ernie
time
Harwell.
for me. Ernie Harwell. Jesus.
Yeah.
God,
is that, Sal, who are your guys? Kiner, or is he more of a TV guy?
Yeah, it was Kiner, Bob Murphy, and Lindsey Nelson. Lindsey Nelson went away probably early in the late 70s. And so, but that was the original three. And then, then it was Kiner and Bob Murphy. I love the guys they have now. I love Gary, Keith.
Oh, really?
And Ron Darling. But yeah, that was it. I will say, when they talk about all these calls, they talk about Vin just letting the moment play out. And sometimes, and I think in that Kirk Gibson one, there was like a minute of actual
65
silence.
Seconds, Al.
Is that what it was?
65 total seconds. Yeah.
I think the message there to young broadcasters is to just shut up. Don't ever say anything. We had a friend, a writer's assistant, who pitched a no talker at a game, Shaq, and now I'm wondering if he might have been one of the greatest announcers of all time if he had changed career paths. Just
it was
if you just show up to audition and just don't say anything, and you're like, I'm playing after Vin Scully here. But that was an exhilarating day at the office when we were there, or at the stadium, to be in the park for that event. A no talker. I mean, 9 innings worth. We went with a guy who didn't
speak
for 9 innings. A friend, a group of like 15 guys did not speak at all. And we were joking like, okay, he hasn't said a word. We don't want to jinx it. Just don't bring it up. Just don't mention it because it's gonna screw it up. All right. So Shaq, did you say your favorite? I mean, I'm going Mets. I'm going Mookie Buckner era. Martin, you're saying?
I mean, pure call. It's for me. It's the Gibson home run. But for the significance for society and all that. I mean, hard to go wrong. The Hank Aaron call is splendid stuff too. And then listen, and then do if you have free time and are interested in such things, listen to him call by himself in the booth. It's about 10 minutes worth of him striking out Harvey Keene and company to complete a perfect game in 55. I forget what year it is, and it's 65, I should say.
Yeah.
Anyway, dig that one up. That's a great call as well.
Lots of good. Oh, Martin's was Torrey Hunter, right? Yeah, definitely dig that one up because that's for.
It was the stories. I mean, like the call of the big moment, but the joy of Scully was just fifth inning, whatever. Like there's a guy. Him weaving in even salacious stories like Marty's one, like he would do it and it just felt like a slice of Americana. Listening to Vin Scully tell you about the backstory of this guy around balls and strikes was great.
It is something, and I've been at Dodger games where people are listening on the radio to Vin Scully, and normally it's an imposition, and we talked about who we hate at the beach, and it's the loud music guy who dictates what you have to listen to. He's right up there. But this guy and anyone who played Scully at the stadium got a pass. Like now they have earbuds. We all have them now, but it didn't matter. You could play it and no one really was going to fight you on it. All right.
Fascinating about Vin Scully, his first year of broadcasting was 3 years after Jackie Robinson played Major League Baseball.
Wow.
Like my man was calling games forever.
Yeah. Yeah. He was good at it. He told the story about how he raced Jackie Robinson on ice skates, and it had been the first time and I guess he was a skater, Vin Scully was like on the high school team or something. So he brought his own skates to wherever this Dodgers retreat was. And Jackie shows up with his wife, who's like 7 or 8 months pregnant. And she's also skating. So that was scary. And then Jackie, who had never skated before, challenged Vin Scully to a race. And he's like, Jackie, you've never skated before. He's like, how am I going to learn? And it's like that was just Jackie Robinson's mentality. And I think he beat him.